Not observing the universe, you are. It felt that the world around you is not as solid as it seems, that the things you touch, the places you walk through, and even your own body carry a subtle instability beneath their surface. Reality itself were quietly vibrating, waiting for something to notice it and give it form. Beneath the constant noise of daily life, beneath thoughts, worries, and distractions, there's a faint sensation, a deep, almost inaudible hum, suggesting that existence is not fixed or finished, but alive, dynamic, and filled with hidden depth. Speaks of this in its own precise and mathematical language, revealing that at the most fundamental level, reality does not behave like a collection of solid independent objects, but like a vast field of potential where certainty dissolves into possibility. Scientists look closely enough. Matter begins to lose its familiar shape. Atoms are revealed to be mostly empty space, and particles no longer behave like tiny solid dots, but like waves of probability that exist everywhere and nowhere at once. All reality, then, is not a stable structure waiting to be discovered. Uncertain danse, a continuous unfolding that only takes form when something observes it, and seems to pause, to choose a shape, only in the presence of a witness, as if the universe itself were waiting to be seen before deciding what it will become. The moment we are born, we are taught to see ourselves as separate from this process, that there is me, contained inside this body, and the world, existing outside of it, distant and objective. Accustomed to the idea that we are observers standing apart from reality, watching it from a safe distance, measuring it, naming it, and attempting to control it as something other than ourselves. This separation is not a fact of existence, but a habit of perception. The line between observer and observed is something the mind creates, rather than something the universe enforces. Quantum realm. Observation is not neutral. The very act of looking alters what is being looked at. A wave of countless possibilities collapses into a single outcome the moment it is measured. Reality does not simply exist independently of awareness. It responds to it, interacts with it, and seems to require it in order to take form. The observer, then, is not a passive bystander watching a distant world unfold. The observer is an active participant, woven into the fabric of reality itself. Realization quietly transforms the deepest questions we ask. Instead of only wondering, what is the universe made of? We are invited to ask something far more intimate. Who is the one experiencing it? Awareness that looks out through your eyes right now, that hears these words, this moment. Is it merely the result of electrical activity in the brain? A temporary flicker, produced by biological processes? Consciousness nothing more than a side effect of matter, a brief spark in an otherwise unconscious universe, destined to disappear when the body dissolves. Consciousness, something far more fundamental. Something that existed before matter and gives rise to it, rather than emerging from it. Matter does not produce consciousness, but instead appears within consciousness, the way images appear on a screen that remains unchanged by what it displays. Perspective. Consciousness is not a product of reality, a canvas upon which reality is painted, the silent space in which all forms arise, change, and eventually fade away. A body that happens to have consciousness, consciousness itself, experiencing a body, using it as a temporary lens through which the universe looks back at itself. For a moment, and feel this directly. The air you breathe is not truly separate from your lungs. Every between inside and outside dissolves with every breath you take. Entering your eyes is not separate from your seeing. Awareness, there is no light, no color, no image. Only raw potential. Around you are not separate from your hearing, only as vibrations, until awareness transforms them into experience. It becomes clear, the boundary between you and the universe begins to soften. It felt like a solid dividing line slowly reveals itself as a mental construction, not an absolute truth. Boundary was never truly there. It was a story passed down through language, culture, and thought. A story of separation, isolation, and individuality. Look beyond the story. Something remarkable appears. Out inside the universe as a small, insignificant fragment. Or the universe itself, experiencing its own existence from a single, temporary point of awareness, of time. The force that seems to govern every movement and every change. Experience time as a river, flowing relentlessly from a fixed past, through a fleeting present, into an unknown future. Experience may also be a construction of perception rather than a fundamental feature of reality. Per levels, time does not behave like a straight line. Quantum world, past and future are not rigid destinations, just as possibilities, influencing one another in ways that defy ordinary logic. With memories and expectations, beneath the movement of thought itself, there is a timeless now. A single, eternal moment in which all experience unfolds. In this moment, you are not moving through time. Time is appearing within you, within awareness. We touch this deeper reality, not through more thinking, because thought tends to divide what is actually whole, to freeze what is naturally fluid. It's useful, but it cannot grasp what lies beyond form. It builds maps, not territories. Another way of knowing, one that does not rely on concepts, explanations, or conclusions. a way of perceiving that exists before thought begins, is stillness. It becomes quiet, not forced into silence, but gently allowed to rest. Reality begins to reveal itself in a different way. It no longer appears as a collection of separate objects, but as a single, living presence, endlessly expressing itself in countless forms. This inner silence, the uncertainty of the quantum world, finds its reflection. Do not know what the next thought will be, just as you do not know what the next moment will bring. An inner space of pure potential within you, mirroring the vast field of possibility that exists beyond you. Much of our lives trying to control this uncertainty, trying to predict the future and hold on to the past in search of security. The greatest wisdom lies not in control, but in letting go and releasing the need to know, the need to define, the need to grasp. Go is not giving up. It is an act of profound trust in a process far greater than the separate self. First, this can feel unsettling. Our grip on a solid, predictable world can feel like stepping into the unknown without guarantees. In this surrender, there is also beauty. A quiet awe that arises when we realize we are part of something vast, mysterious, and intelligent. Consciousness that spins galaxies and shapes stars is looking out through your eyes in this very moment. Allow yourself to sink into this feeling. The feeling of being both infinitesimally small and infinitely vast at the same time. Single point of awareness, and you are the entire cosmos unfolding. No need to understand this with the mind. Understanding comes and goes, but this presence remains. Feel the quiet hum of existence beneath all movement, the stillness at the heart of everything that is. Was never. What is reality? That question belongs to thought. The real question has always been, who am I? Who is aware of this experience? Who is observing this moment? Not with thought, but with quiet attention. There is not a word, not a belief, not a concept. There is the looking itself, the silent, empty, and infinitely full awareness that you are. The witness. You are the possibility. Stillness, in which all things arise and return. And breathe out and rest in the mystery